Came for the land ordained for us. Back to Sherman's law. You gotta own the land you own. You are in debt to us.
How you doing today? I hope all of you are doing fine. I'm gonna give you a short, sweet video. It's entitled The War of the Worlds. You got to understand what it means by the War of the Worlds. What is happening? We're in this shift. We're in this shift from Pisces to Aquarius. We're also in the shift from the dark age to the age of light, which is known as the Bronze Age. And in this shift, there's many things going to happen. You're going to see things like you've never seen before. And you got to understand that God, this is something that's automatically sought in the universe. This is a natural law that's sought in the universal order. Man can't control that. It is all sought in this metric, in this order. You're going from the dark age to the age of light. When you hear the initiate say, Jesus said, when you go into the house, the man with the pitcher of water, that showing you the coming of this new age, the coming of the Aquarian age, the coming of the peace age, the coming of that age that's known as the Michaelian age. And you have to understand this stuff because it's very important. You're not learning this in your environment because they don't teach the commoners of the high level. When you see a pyramid, you see that pyramid go up to that peak. Everything in the lower A left at the very bottom, that's the ignorant people that they call ignorant. I'm not calling you ignorant, that's what they do. They call the people at the bottom ignorant. All they are is followers. They don't lead nothing. But the people, as you see that pyramid go up and narrow in, those are people with the esoteric knowledge. Those are people that have the truth of what's really going on. The truth that been displayed for thousands and thousands of years and that been hidden from the regular people. They are known as, we don't even use that term when it comes to the ones at the very top, the Illuminati, illuminated ones, because that term been used in our culture, and it's like, oh, you could be an actor, you would be a part of the Illuminati, all that. No, them people is nothing. The ones at the very top, they have a knowledge beyond measure. Some of them ones at the very top, their age is not like the regular people's at the bottom. So you'll put, well, Bill Gates is at the top or somebody like that. No, Bill Gates ain't at the top, okay? You got families that have been here and been in existence for thousands and thousands of years. They have ran the world in the way that they want to run the world. You will have a war in a country. You'll get rid of that Hitler character, but you won't get rid of that royal character. You'll get rid of that Mussolini character, but you won't get rid of that royal family character. So it's a difference. And most people think, well, I'll get rid of this, I change this. No, you can't change nothing that they don't let change. Now, they don't have a choice in what the change is going to be. So what they are scrambling in the situation to keep themselves not really on top, but wherever they can in the high level. And that's how it's going, because this is totally different from anything that you have seen for the last 6,000 years. It's totally different. It's not like you, every 2,160 years, you have changes. You have from Gemini, you have a change into Taurus. And from Taurus, you have a change into Aquarius. And from Aquarius, you have a change into Pisces. Now, those three changes was part of the dark age. Now you're coming into a whole new age. And when it requires an age of peace, an age of prosperity, then new knowledge of what the straw man is all about is coming into being. Knowledge of your Social Security and this other stuff. Knowledge of the law. The natural law and the law of the water and the law of the land and all that coming into play. Knowledge of what the Pope did and what the Vaticans them did back in the 1300s, back in 1666 and all that stuff coming into play now. Because people want to know truth. The universe is requiring truth, okay? So it ain't just the people want to know it. It's already sought up in the metric for you to know this truth and to move on. And a lot of people say, well, you got them aliens out there, they trying to inform our peoples and stuff, and then some people say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. No. Those people's always been connected to the planet. Always been connected to the planet. You ain't alone, okay? If you think you're alone, you've lost your mind, okay? You got peoples, we don't like to call them aliens. We got people that live on this planet that's not connected to our regular society, but in a sense they are connected. Now, what do I mean by that? They got a duty to do. They got a duty to help guide mankind to where he need to get to keep mankind moving ahead, okay? And these individuals, they could be in your government, they could be in your corporations, they could be on your job. You don't even know who they are, but they are not like you, okay? They are not like you in a sense, but yet some of them are shape changers and some of them look just like you. You wouldn't even know. You're at a basketball game, football game, or sports game. You don't know, in the movie theater, you don't even know who they are, okay? So you got to be aware of this. Then you got them reptilians and all this other stuff out there. And you got, and some of them talk about the ant ones and all that. But I don't want to get into that because I want to talk about the war of the world, because you're having this transition. You're having this power that have existed, been permitted to exist for periods of time, that evil power that keep man in what they call, you're coming out of this dark age of Pisces, so it's an age of deception. So you got this power of deception want to still hold on, and this other power wanted to release, because it don't matter whether they try to hold on or not, it's going to be released. You got cause and effect, and it's going to be released. Now, at the rate it's going to be released, that's different, but it's going to be released. So people could come in harmony. In that way, they talk about the two worlds. One world, you breaking apart from the old world, okay? And you have to understand that. That's why in Daniel say, some shall shine as a firmament, and some shall go into everlasting content. That's what it's talking about. Okay, everybody ain't going to travel the right path, or that path for prosperity, that path for unity with integrity. See, there is no love without unity and integrity. You can't tell me you love me if you don't unite yourself with me in positive causes. Okay, so let's move on. The I Change prophecy, the I Change prophecy. The I Change prophecy is a Chinese prophecy that it's been there for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, okay? And in this I Change prophecy, they have one of the prophecies that talk about a nation having 405 years, then it come to an end. Okay, now, if you apply that time with American history, and when America started building itself through the corporation, started building itself into a nation, the first time it started itself up as a nation was in 1619. In the month of August, okay? I think that went to around the 8th of September, but it was in the month of August, okay? And if you look from August all the way, August of 1619, 405 years will take you to August of 2024. Now, what you're seeing here is the aristocrats. They are not, and these big corporations, they are not based only, although they may have started out in America, they are not based in America. And they are global now. So they don't care if America fall or if it stand. And show evidence of that. Why? They took all the steel mills and stuff out of America. Stuff went to China and things like that. In Central South America. They did a lot of changes. A lot of the agriculture out of America went to Mexico and to Guatemala, and a lot of them grow the fruit industry, had wars in Panama and places like that, so they could make much as they possibly can with that cheap labor and with the restriction lifted from the way that they use their fertilizer and different things. And see, those rich folks like that, they don't look at, you become someone they selling things to. You become like a service nation. You don't produce anything hardly anymore. If we go to war with China or the Soviet Union, we'll have a real problem. We're not prepared for that. But They will make you think that. Why? Because the ones in the White House and the ones in these political office, they don't control stuff. They are bought out by the corporate dollars. And you got to see this. The corporation put them in office. You don't put them in office. You say, well, it's democracy and I vote for them and I vote for this. No, I don't kill them. Man, they got the thing on the computer system. And they can say what they want to say. A while back when this guy from Georgia, well, he had won this Democratic thing, and they wondered how in the heck he got there because he was nobody, and how he got there like that because of the computer and the voting thing system, and the machine put him there. And you got to understand, this thing ain't. They put who they want to put there. They got two candidates right there, Republican and Democrats. They got Trump and they got Harris. Now, out of all the people, they only got those two that you're talking about on the news. Okay, and the rest of them is not even worth talking about. Not that they ain't. Really, in reality, they could be better candidates. But what the corporatocracy want you to see is the ones they give you. See, you are being programmed. You know, you being programmed. It's mind control. You know, and they are programming you and they're telling you who is this and who is that because they control the media. And you don't know who's really out there, what ideas is out there. Because it's ran, your whole system is ran by those ones at the top, those ones in the top level of the pyramid. Okay, and when you see somebody like Trump or see somebody like Harris, you think they way at the top. No, they ain't at the top, they way down. They ain't over the Vatican, they ain't over the Pope, they ain't over them. Them people have more power than any of them. What do the Pope consider himself? The Catholic Church consider the Pope. He's the one that's over. At one time they made him, in one of their laws, they made him the emperor of the world, the pontiff of the world. So what is a president to them? Nothing. Okay, nothing. It's just somebody, let the fisher come in there and spend a little time. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on with this. Matthew 24:22. And except these days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Okay, now, why is that? Is they talking about just the wars, the bombs, etc.? See, they're destroying you in different areas. When they're talking about the flesh, no flesh will be saved, you got to be more broad-minded. You got to look at today and how things are happening. They're feeding you a certain way. You know, they got farmers that say all the nutrition, the nutrients in the soil is been almost depleted. Say the crops that you're growing, that they make them look a certain way because of the chemicals and stuff they have, but they're not healthy as you think they are. A lot of the minerals, if you don't have the minerals in the soil, you don't have the minerals in the crops. And you got to see that. And everything eat from the crops. You got even the cows and the hogs and the chicken and everything. They grow to feed and stuff and feed them. So it's not just the vegetables, it's the animals as well. And they pump them with certain steroids and stuff and making them fat and all this other stuff. And you just, and that energy or that from them steroids and stuff, and you eat that cow, or you eat that pig, or you eat that chicken, you're gonna have it in your system. And all you gotta do is look around. Look around. Any store you go in, you ain't gotta be just Walmart, you go in Publix, True Food and all this other stuff, or Whole Food and all that stuff, you still gonna see those same kind of people. Okay? They're spread in different areas, same area in which your animals spread. And I'm not picking on that, I'm just telling you what it is. These are facts. And you got to see that. Let's move on now. Okay, but you got to remember that they want to get so many people, 90 to 95% of the people's off the planet. So how you gonna get them off the planet? Different ways to destroy what? Their flesh. Okay? You don't want them to live a longevity, so you give them all kind of medication in order to, with all kind of side effects and stuff like that. So it's many ways they're destroying the flesh from the planet. We're supposed to be living right now 120 years, going into 1,000 years, but at least 120 years. You know, when you leave from one age to the other age, when you understand the age thing at Noah time, He said Noah them lived 900 something years, so they're going to drop down to 120 years. And then some say that at the age of ram time, they were going to drop down, Aries, they're going to drop down to 70 to 80 years. Now in the age of Pisces, you're supposed, as above, so below, you're supposed to go back to 120 years. But are the people living an average of 120 years? No, because of the things that they're feeding, their flesh, the things they're feeding into their body system, and etc. Now, you're supposed to be at the point right now, you're supposed to be crossing over where you go into 1,000 years of age. In 1,000 years of age, you looking just like Noah them did. Because as above, so below. Gemini, Aquarius. Both of them is air age. So you're supposed to live that age of an air age person. And they're robbing that from you, but you're not being taught this in your churches, etc. And you got to understand that. So you're not hearing the truth. And that's the whole problem. And now it's the time for the truth to be heard. Now, let's move on. Matthew 24:27. For as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Matthew 24:29. And the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. Matthew 24:30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Now, heaven have 37 different meanings, and you got to understand, heaven have 37 different meanings. It's not just talking about up in the sky, and you need to learn this, okay? Get your Bible, dictionary, etc., and it'll tell you heaven have 37 different meanings. So you got to understand, some of it, heaven is a state of mind, state of consciousness, and you must see this. Now, and what is they saying right there? How you sum that up? Okay, as a light. Now, most of the power, when the power was shifted from here at when Paul had an order from his father to go over into that Egypt over there and to civilize those people, what they call the Hannibal Baron, etc. From Atlantis, the time of Atlantis, he went over there and taught them certain things, and the power went from America area of Atlantis over to Egypt. Now, what happened after then? The power had to come back to the original state. And where was the power come? Did it come directly from Africa or from Egypt over to America? No. It stopped in Europe, the European areas. You see, great powers was hurled in Europe. Okay, and a lot of people don't realize black folks control Europe back in the day. Black folks run Europe. Black royalty and black aristocrats ran Europe up into the early part of 1800s. And you got to see this. But yet at the same time, that knowledge and that power had to come all the way to the west, to America, because of prophecy in Joshua talk about it, and many other areas talk about that prophecy, talk about that Son of Man coming, that age of the Michaelian age coming. That's what the Son of Man is about. Michael, the Michaelian age. That's the age that they were looking for 2,000 years ago. That's why their Jesus, not a real Jesus, their created Jesus, could not bring peace to the world because it wasn't that time yet. That peace is supposed to come in the Aquarius, age of Aquarius, and we have to see that. Now, let's move on. Luke 11:29. This is an evil generation. They seek of a sign. They seek of a sign. They seek of a sign. Let's look at it now. What sign is the church seeking right now? And distributing that philosophy to everybody else. They're looking for a rapture. Okay? And we're going to play where that rapture came from so you'll know where it originated from.
The rapture was, the Roman Catholic Church began the rapture to deceive the Protestants about end-time events of the last days. We were taught in the Protestant churches, in the Baptist church, the denomination, the Baptist church, we were taught that before the Antichrist shows up, the churches are going to be raptured. The Christians are going to be raptured up out of here. That's what we were taught. All right. And so this is what the Roman Catholic Church did to try to deceive the whole world through Christianity about about this rapture. Now, this guy named Ribera, he was a Chilean Jesuit priest. It started with this guy named Ribera. That's how the rapture doctrine started in the 1800s. It started by this Jesuit priest named Ribera. Okay, now after Ribera, this guy named Emmanuel Lacunza comes along. Emmanuel Lacunza comes along, and he starts to pull from a lot of the teachings of Ribera. Now Emmanuel Lacunza then starts to write this book called The Coming of Messiah in His Glory and Majesty. Okay, so he spent most of his life writing this book under another name. So Emmanuel Lacunza, pulling this rapture doctrine and this teaching from Ribera, started to write this book under another name, Rabbi Ben Ezra. He was supposed to be this Jew, this learned Jew who converted into Christianity. Now I need y'all to catch that, because don't you see how Judaism and Christianity operates together? Now this is supposed to be a Jewish person who converted to Christianity, right? And he's learning from a Jesuit priest. Okay, so can't you see how Roman Catholicism, Christianity, and Judaism all falls right under the mother church? Well, anyway, he spent most of his time writing this book, all right, called The Coming of Messiah in His Glory and Majesty, and he published this book in 1812. So Emmanuel Lacunza wrote under the assumed name Rabbi Ben Ezra, all right? Now, from Emmanuel Lacunza, Rabbi Ben Ezra, from him, after he publishes this book in 1812, this guy named Edward Irving comes along. He was born in 1792. He comes along, he falls in love with Emmanuel Lacunza's Rabbi Ben Ezra's book, The Coming Messiah, The Coming of Messiah in His Glory and Majesty. Edward Irving falls in love with this book. So Edward Irving, he comes along and he takes this book and he translates it into English in 1827. And so now Edward Irving, what he does is he starts to hold a lot of these Bible conferences emphasizing Jesus coming to rapture the church. All right. This is 1827. In 1830, this girl named Margaret MacDonald goes into a trance in one of the services of Edward Irving. She falls into this trance and she says that she had this prophetic dream of this second coming of this Jesus, right? Margaret MacDonald. Now, this is in 1830. That same year that Margaret MacDonald had this prophetic dream as she went into trance in this church, this guy named John Darby. Now, John Darby picks up this rapture doctrine. Now, when John Darby picks it up, he starts to teach this rapture doctrine through what you call futurism, which was developed into a system of prophetic teaching called dispensationalism. All right. So now, all the way from Ribera, this Chilean Jesuit priest, the rapture doctrine comes all the way down to this guy named John Darby in 1830. And the rapture doctrine came to the United States of America and Canada in between 1840 and 1870.
See, that rapture was not something given to the gospel, given to the teaching 2,000 years ago. That rapture just happened. That conversation of the rapture started with a Jesuit priest in the 1700s wrote a book about certain things, and then the evangelistic team in America, that evangelistic movement, later grabbed that and started teaching it, and it made its way into the books. It made its way into the books. So you've been teaching something that just happened, but you didn't know it, because in your pulpit, your preacher ain't going to tell you that, because they tell you about the rapture. That rapture story help you put more donation in there. That rapture story help you be closer to the church, for the fear that you don't want to be left behind. And you need to see that. But I'm here to tell you that left behind story is a left behind lie. Okay? It's a lie. Pray against this prophet when he tell you the truth. It's a left behind lie. It's like Elijah coming to the prophets of Baal or the preachers of Baal or the peoples of that follow the preachers of Baal. And Elijah is saying, and that's what the story is about right now. It's about me right here telling you. That's what the story lies about. Me telling the people that this Baal environment or this Christian environment or this religious environment have lied to you, and God is finna change that lie. He finna fix it, that lie will dissipate. Okay? That lie will dissipate. See, people be scared. Oh man, all them pray against me, they're gonna go all this in. Did Elijah care about 400 or whatever number prophets of Baal praying against him? Elijah knew what he had. Elijah had thought. He had God the Almighty on his side. So when you know you got God, you know you got God, but you don't give a damn about what they think about it, because you got your job to do. And you're going to do your job. And that's how it works. Okay. Now, don't mean, but that's just how it is. See, because our people's been left behind. Our people been in a condition so long that they don't know what's right and what's wrong. They expect the same one that enslaved them behind, they expect them to deliver them or give them the knowledge to be delivered. It don't work like that. It ain't going to ever happen like that. Democracy have never been your friend. And you want it, you better go vote. This is a democratic thing. You better go vote. And I don't want to go too deep into that. But then they got the electoral college there. So if they don't want that particular person you voted for, the electoral college step in and ask about Trump and Hillary Clinton and see what happened then. When Hillary Clinton had so many votes over Donald Trump, but the electoral college put her there. Look at George Bush. When Gore had so many votes over George Bush, the electoral college, and they say the Senate, not the Senate, the Supreme Court, put him there. See, they already got evidence. It ain't been way. It's all lately. But see, you don't want to hear the truth. The media get you caught right back in that same old line. Your bootleg gatekeeping Illuminati Negroes and ones in the fraternities tell you, vote for Harris, vote for Harris, vote for Harris, vote for Harris. Oh, she part of our Illuminati. Vote for Harris. When she already done said, I'm not doing nothing special for black folks. I'm not doing nothing special for black folks.
Look at this, y'all. Here's what Kamala said when asked about passing something specifically for blacks.
There's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Now here's what Trump said when asked about doing something specifically for blacks.
And I'm here today to announce a brand new plan to deliver more opportunity to black communities. We call it the Platinum Plan. And that's a contract with black Americans. We will create 3 million new jobs for the black community. Open 500,000 new black-owned businesses. Increase access to capital in black communities by $500 billion.
Ask a Democrat what they're going to do specifically for blacks. I bet you they deflect and start talking about minorities. They'll never say nothing specifically for black people. But yet this woman is trying to sway our black youth doing HBCU tours and even trying to pay them to vote.
And you got to see this stuff, people. I don't want to hold it too long. Now, I'm not saying this woman couldn't win. Because when I did the odds on her, if you look back a few videos, this woman was sparking. And she already the president. Everybody trying to hide it, trying to be ignorant to the fact that, hey, Biden ain't truly there. She's there. But see, you don't want to hear that. That's not how it is. When the president can't perform his duty, who performed the duty? The vice president. So the vice president take on the position of the president. Okay? And she ain't got to hold her hand up and say she's the president. She got to do none of that. All she got to do is do the work. Okay? How many supervisors have been on the job when they ain't have the supervisor, they got rid of the supervisor, and they got another one stepping in as the supervisor? What is that person? Is that person not the supervisor or what? Come on, they are the supervisor. Okay? And you got to see this. Come on, let's be realistic. Quit lying to ourselves on what's really going on. So she did nothing for the last 3 years, so what expect she gonna do something now? Now, I'm not against her. I got even kin folks that's in politics, you know, that's pushing her agenda. And I love my kin folks, don't get me wrong, I love them, but I ain't gonna take side on them and I don't agree on that person. No, I'm not gonna take no side because you my kin folks and you sitting in the seat of a U.S. senator. Oh, nah. This is about God's truth, my people. It's about God's truth, because we don't want these people to take us into the abyss. Because that's why I put that I Change prophecy there. That's why I show you those prophecies in the Bible, what time it is. And you need to see it. Let's go on down. We're going to go on down and talk about our people. Okay, first I'm going to read this one here. Okay, and read it all the way. Okay, in Luke 11:29. Okay. This is an evil generation. This is the book was written for America, so who are they talking about? They're talking about this people here in America. Not nobody in Rome all the years ago. Talking about you in America. This is an evil generation. They seek a sign, but there is no sign to be given them but the sign of Jonah the prophet. What is Jonah? I want you to look at Jonah. J, turn that J around, that's an L. Take that O, put it there. Take that N, turn it upside down, that's a U. Take the top of the J, put it there, that's an I. Take the S and put it there. Okay, now take that J, the full J, bring it over here, put a period behind it, that's J for Jerome. Take that A and put it there, put a period behind it, that's A. This is an anagram, and you're not learning this. See, there were people that wrote the Bible, they gave you the truth, but they put it in the odds. But they're not teaching you that. So you don't even know how this stuff, and you need to know it. Okay? Louis J. Armstrong, the prophet. Louis J. Armstrong, the prophet, supposed to come to you. He's supposed to come to you. Okay? Luke 11:30. For as Jonah was a sign unto the Ninevites, so shall also the Son of Man be to this generation. Okay, this person is to be at this generation. So what you see a repeated history. History is going to repeat itself. So when you read the story of Jonah, you read about the history of Assyria and what the city of Nineveh was in and what happened at the time of Jonah. You'll find out the same thing that happened at the time of Jonah is going to happen at our time. History is going to repeat itself. I had scholars that come to me and was amazed that they seen such a thing in the book. Because they realized, darn, you showing where history is repeating itself. Now let's talk about our people before we go any further. Miss Shirley Oliver, Mother Shirley Oliver, Shirley H. Oliver, Eldon Gennaro, Marvin G. Antoinette McMillan, the Neophytes. That's Devin and Richard. Steve J. Coleman. Also, we have Demetrius Change and his wife. Brian E. Foster and Robert Cromwell and George Cromwell, his wife. Okay, we don't want to leave wives out. Okay, now, thank God for these individuals. I ain't put many individuals on the board at this time because I don't want to go too far over on this election. Now, what we're going to get into, because he tell you about Jonah time. Jonah was in the area of Assyria in the city of Nineveh. We're right now in America in the city of Jacksonville / St. Augustine, say it like that. Okay, now, what the sign was is that at the time of the coming of the Son of Man, it's going to be like the time of Jonah time in Nineveh. Now, so we must see certain traits, because it says a sign. So we must see certain traits, okay? Assyria. What Syria was, and you're going to see this in the book. Darn, I meant to have that book in my hand. Get the book right quick. Y'all could excuse me for the little short. On page 20, this is a new book, Judgment of America, okay? On page 25, I want you to see that, on page 25. On page 25, and Sister Corinthians will show you this page, so you'll see it while I'm talking. On page 25, it's going to show you a chart dealing with showing Assyria, America repeating the history of Assyria. That's what it is. Okay, and it's going to show you Assyria. Syria has 7 letters in it. and America have 7 letters in it. Syria start with A, end with A, and have R-I-A near the end. America start with A, end with A, and have R-I-A near the end. Okay? Assyria was the most powerful nation in the world at Jonah's time. America is the most powerful nation in the world at this time. Syria was a warring nation, more aggressive than a neighbor. America is a warring nation, more aggressive than a neighbor. More aggressive than Canada, more aggressive than China, more aggressive than any neighbor, okay? Nineveh was the oldest city area of Assyria. Jacksonville, St. Augustine is the oldest area of America. We know that many millions of people go down to St. Augustine each year looking at the historic site by being the oldest city. Nineveh is in a peninsula-shaped area. Jacksonville is on the peninsula, okay? Nineveh is in the northeast part of that peninsula shape. Jacksonville, St. Augustine it's the same. It's on the northeast part of Florida Peninsula. The peninsula have a large lake in Nineveh, in Assyria. The peninsula shape there have a large lake at the bottom area. How about America? That peninsula shape have a large lake at the bottom area, Lake Okeechobee. Let's go on. Calla is 20 miles, a city called Calla is 20 miles outside of Nineveh. What is similar to being 20 miles outside of Jacksonville, St. Augustine? Jacksonville, okay? Callahan is 20 miles outside of Jacksonville, city of Jacksonville, okay? Nineveh city is large in land area, okay? How about Jacksonville area? Jacksonville was the largest city at one time in the world in land mass, okay? A group of people known as the Himrods lived there in the area of Assyria before Assyria became a nation. Was there a group of people living here on America's soil before America became a nation? Yes. A group known as the Iroquois lived here before America became a nation. Okay. Now, that is the thing that show you tit to tat. If God said then, and he sent a prophet to talk about it, then I must be able to prove that. And you see it in living color. Now, if you can't see that, you got a real problem. I ain't here to tell you anything. You just switch the channel, okay? If you can't see this stuff, okay? Now, what about the political thing? But the political leaders before Assyria fell, okay? Let's deal with it, okay? And here we go up here. In Nineveh, there was a leader in Nineveh, and here in Jacksonville, St. Augustine, okay? We're going to use them, okay? Ashurbanipal was in Assyria. He was four leaders before Assyria fell. And you're going to see 4 leaders before America fall. Okay? And you need to know that. Ashurbanipal, he built a great library, and his lifestyle involved the lovers of men, males. Okay? Now, is the same thing, is something similar to that happened in America, in the Jacksonville area? Okay, let's deal with it. Mayor John Payton built a large library, and me and Brother Coleman was in that library when me and Brother Coleman came down, and he seen the library and stuff like that. So John Payton built this large library, and Mayor Payton lifestyle is known as lovers of men. That's what the one who ran against him said, and that's what some other people in the city said about him. Now he cleaned it up, got married, etc. But we talking about at the time, that time. Okay. Now, what happened next in Assyria? Okay, Ashurbanipal. Okay, you can look at it up and try to get a better pronunciation if you want to. He ruled from 631 BC to 627 BC. He only ruled 4 years. Okay, and that was he. And he was known as brother. The history around him always use the word brother or something, brother this. Okay, now when we use the term brother in America, we normally talk about a black man. Okay, so let's deal with that next mayor in the area of Jacksonville, St. Augustine, in Jacksonville area. Okay, Mayor Alvin Brown, who was a black mayor, first black mayor of the city of Jacksonville, ruled in Jacksonville from 2011 to 2015. 4 years, okay? Many people have asked me who was going to win that election. I told them Mayor Brown was going to win that election. They asked me about the other one too, Payton too. But when they asked me about Mayor Brown, I told them a black man was going to be Mayor Jacksonville. They looked at me like I would have lost my mind because they realized that this is a city that, no, I don't give black folks too much room in the city. But I told them Mayor Brown will be the mayor of Jacksonville. A black man would be the mayor of Jacksonville, and Mayor Brown won. But I told you he only had 4 years, and that's exactly what it had, because it's fulfilling the prophecy. If the knowledge of God through the initiate say something, you put it together despite of what peoples have taught in the past, and let it do its thing, and you'll see it. How about the next one? Shinsan Mulishan. Okay, he ruled during the time of a civil unrest. Now, how about Mayor Lenny Carey? He ruled during the time of civil unrest. What it was, Black Lives Matter, etc. You had them marching. You had police officers and everybody else marching in Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, and some of them was a whole problem with some of the Black Lives problem. So we know that that's a little stage crap that it wasn't going to go nowhere. It wasn't really doing nothing. It was just something that media hype, okay, and etc. Okay. Then we got the next one in Assyria, the fourth one in Assyria, Sennacherib. Okay, he ruled during the time of the fall of Assyria. You had a civil war and a world war at that time. Now, let's look now at Mayor Donna Deegan, who ruling at this time in America. You got a female ruling in this time in America. Okay, now we have a potential civil war. We have a potential world war. Why do you say that? Because one of the generals, they put on the media that China, we could have a war with China in 2025. When is that? That's next year. Okay, so they're not going to get on there and tell you nothing like that unless something is jumping off. Okay, not only China, the Soviet Union. Okay, and we know that the Soviet Union and China been doing military exercise over the area of Alaska. And also, last year, sometime early this year, the Soviet Union brought some of their nuclear submarines down to the area of Cuba. So something is going on now. Don't expect the media to tell you everything, because they're going to keep it low key. And what this is a year of preparation. And the year of preparation, what did they do in the year of preparation? They kicked in the draft. So you got to see what's going on and know that this is what's happening. So when people ask me about our president and what she's going to do, etc., I don't care if you put Trump there. I don't care if you put Harris there. I don't care who you put there. America is finna go through something, because America has been showing the world things in opposition to where God want to lead the world, or God got this world leading to in the age of peace. America have not distributed peace in its whole existence. So how do you expect America, who is the leading part of the world right now, to lead us into an age of peace? That's an impossibility. But if God calls certain things to happen, then America will be able to do what it needs to do once it get its act together. That's why you hear the prophecy of the phoenix bird. And all of the ones at the top in America know about the phoenix bird prophecy. And you need to know that. Let's move on now. Let's go with Daniel. Daniel 9:26. And after 62 weeks, of the Messiah, the anointed one, the prophet, like Jonah, be cut off. Why is he going to be cut off? Because when he first come and start teaching the people the truthism, it's going to be before most of them time. Most of the other individuals ain't going to even be in the ballpark. Then what's happening is they're going to cut him off. Because why? When he start talking about that Jesus was a fake 2,000 years ago, when he started talking about the 5 divine laws and etc., and people's different cultures need to have their own business ventures, they need to have this, that, and all that. When he started talking about the possession of the land is coming back to those Israelites, the true Israelites that have been on American soil for thousands and thousands of years. When he started telling all this stuff, and they are in the Bible, when he started talking about the Bible was sent to America because it's about the peoples in America. When he started teaching all this stuff, they don't want that to be known. Okay? So they're going to cut him off. He be on the internet, they're going to cut him off. They're not going to let him, when he get 76,000 viewers within so many months, and they know if that keep on going, he'll have about 500,000 viewers in the end of the year. They're going to take it off the air, and then they're going to cut him down when he talk about certain things. So this is what's been happening, and you got to follow the history, what's based around this organization. They don't want you to know the truth. But see, now they're getting to a point where they got to do something. They got to do something, and you got to see that. You got to see what's going on. Okay, and it says, but not for himself. And the peoples of the prince, the peoples of this person, this Messiah, the prince, the peoples of this person is this you got to understand, it's the same one that they talk about in the 12th chapter of Daniel as well, Michael, which is the Maccabean age, okay? The peoples of the prince, the peoples of me, and the peoples of the prince, thought shall come, shall destroy the city, shall destroy Babylon. See, our fathers, ancient fathers, have a lot to do with this. See, thought told them in the Emerald Tablets that he's coming back, and there's going to be a reckoning. See, he talk about that. But see, most people in the fraternity, in the sacred order, in different fraternities, they know about this, know about the Emerald Tablets and stuff like that. They just think it's a writing. No, thought is here now. He's my teacher. He's known in the original writing, the writing of the Bible. He's also in the history of the writing of the Bible. He's known also as Hermes. And in the Bible also, he is known also as majestic. He's present. His presence is here now. His presence is here now. So he done came back to let you know that this can't work no more. And we got to see what's going on. What did he say? He said, thought shall destroy the city. What? This Bible was sent to America. So what city are you talking about? The Babylon. The city known, and the place known as Babylon. And the sanctuary. What the sanctuary is about? The church. See, the church is incorrect. The church is believing in a rapture. They believe in a sign of a rapture and all this other stuff. And God ain't going to have that no more. You ain't finna be raptured nowhere. You're going to do your job here. You're going to build the kingdom of God on earth here. Like the scriptures say, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. You got a job to do. And you ain't going nowhere. So you got to see that. So the church view is not building nothing here. They're going up. You know, that slave mentality teaching. Don't worry about it. You'll get your deliverance. You'll get your all this gold and all this in heaven. That big lie. In black folks in general, they don't fail for that lie. But God ain't going to have it. Okay? Let's go on. Thought shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And the end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end of the war, desolation are determined. Now, why do they say the end thereof going to be with a flood? Now, we got weapons now. Like Russians claim to have a weapon that could cause a flood to sweep over a state and flood the whole thing, destroy the whole thing. Now, is this flood meaning that? No, a flood can mean destruction. That's what a flood means, destruction. So this and war is destruction. So flood means a bad situation. Okay, a bad situation. And we know as the story goes in time past, the deluge of the flood have destroyed massive peoples off the planet. So you're talking about a great destruction going on. And you're looking at that time is from 2000 to 2020, 2021 to 2027, 2028 to 2042. And why do I say that? Look in Revelation 18:10. Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. 1 hour is that judgment come. And who is it? Babylon is talking about America. From the time of 2000 to the time of 2042. That is that time period. How do you know that is that time period? Because it is written in the scripture that a day of the Lord is like 1,000 years. So you divide 24 hours into that, and that's going to give you 41.666 years, rounded off 42 years. And you're going to see that. Okay? We come to teach you the truth. We ain't playing around with this. We ain't coming right down. We ain't holding back. We telling you the truth. Now, you're going to walk in it or you're not. Like he said, like like Elijah said to the people of the prophets of Baal. He said it to the people. Okay? If you're going to follow God, the Lord God thought, or you're going to follow Baal, you pick your choice. But there's consequence behind your choices. Some going to shine as the brightness of the firmament that they follow the Lord God thought, who is Melchizedek. And some going to go into everlasting content. That means some of them going to die. Like he said, some flesh going to be destroyed. So you pick your choice. Whether you're going to follow the safety of the Lord by listening to his prophet and his messengers and his individuals, the children of Israel that's following that particular anointed one. Or you do what the heck you want to do. You pick your choice. Okay? Now that's the end of this. And I didn't mean to step on anyone's toes or nothing like that. I just have to tell you the truth. You got to know these truths. Okay, you can make your donations. You can make a donation of $500, $400, $300, $200, $150, etc. to Louis Armstrong Ministry at 7536 Jana Lane North, Jacksonville, Florida 32210, or Cross Rock Incorporated with that same address, 7536 Jana Lane North, Jacksonville, Florida 32210. Or you could go to Givelify on your mobile app under Charitable with Cross Rock Incorporated. Or you could go with PayPal at ArmstrongLouisJ@gmail.com. That's PayPal, ArmstrongLouisJ@gmail.com. You can also go with Cash App at $SWAU 1954. That's Cash App, $SWAU 1954. And always remember, individuals, many individuals are watching this. I have came in the store and met individuals, or downtown and met individuals who knew me, but they see me on the video, but I don't know them in person. And when I hear their name and stuff like that, oh man, I've been watching you for 5 years. I've been watching you for 6 years. I've been watching you for 7 years. But when I hear their name, and their name don't come up or don't register in the documents of the ones who are, sending in donations. And I ask myself, you've been watching me that long, but yet you have not backed this organization? People don't realize it ain't what I see, it's what God sees and what the angels see. You think the angels not recording this kind of stuff? You think the angels not paying attention to what you're doing and what you ain't doing? They're there. Everything is recorded, my people. And you talking about stepping into God's grace, or stepping into this, or stepping into that, and you asking God to help you, and God saying what you're not doing? Come on, let's wake up now. Let's wake up. Be real. Be true to yourself, and do the right thing. Okay? Now, we're going to say a prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for blessing us with this knowledge, that blessing us with this book and this chart and the information right at their fingertips. Heavenly Father, thank you for the children of Israel. Thank you for these royal people. Thank you for this remnant. Thank you for everything you do for now and forevermore. Amen.